Okay, so we're going to do something a little different, just completely different kind of figure, because I was just looking around for what's review and I went, that one. And so, Transformers Energon Deluxe Starscream. Not the repaint into the mud G1 colours, that was the second version, but the original one. And this is a figure I actually always wanted from the line, never saw it on sale, and got, I think, towards the end of last year off eBay. Quite reasonable price, so I'm not going to complain. It's it's quite lovely, although it does give me massive nostalgia for a G2 figure, which any of you in the know will probably know that figure. But let's have a quick look. It's got landing gear here and here, so we're just going to fold that up because as much as it's nice for them to have, you never use it. The weapons are stored on the ends of the wings, and let's just show you can do it, but for argument's sake I'm going to pop them off because they don't make the vehicle mode look any good. I mean, weapon storage fine, but it looks better without them. And it looks like that. And that almost looks like a real plane. I mean, the wings are that little bit stubby, and there's quite a lot going underneath. But other than that, it's a very nice figure. And obviously, this is, let's be fair, heavily based on Transformers G2. Was it something like Ace Evader or Ace and Evader? It was a G2 set where you had a plane very much like this, and then you had a larger vehicle that was a tank, but also became like a stealth bomber that this slotted into the back of. Well, not this, but the figure this is based on, slotted into the back of. Really great figure. I think I've got one somewhere, but I'm missing all the missiles out of it. Or I've got the missiles and they're just spread everywhere because I hate firing projectiles. They're just something you lose. I never liked it. But it's a good set. I dare say you can find it around. It is a thing, and it's been repainted 1,000 times. But this is basically a tweaked mold of that figure. Although I think, all in all, that mold comes away better than this because it hasn't got the gimmick in this. But we'll not get ahead of ourselves. It's quite nice. It's got like some battle damage here because I believe at this point Starscream was kind of like a ghost. It's a bit weird. So he's got like damage to the wing here. Come on, camera. So he's got that and damage to the sort of vent part at the top here, which isn't on the other side. Basically, this side, including the robot mode, I believe, is just kind of slightly damaged, which is a nice touch. Don't get me wrong, but it's odd. But yeah, he's quite a chunky thing, and if I turn it upside down, you've got an idea of how the robot mode is going to work. But so what, really? So what? Try to work out if you can. No, there are firing missiles, but I don't think you can fire them in this mode. I mean, you can try and force it, but I don't want to show that off. I'd rather do it as the power-up mode in the robot mode. So I suppose the only thing left for us is to get transform it. And so, I'm going to get these pieces here, which are, let's face it, clearly the legs, and they are on the big sort of light blue thing tabbed into the body there. So we're going to pop that loose. Pop that loose. See the giant peg here that goes into a hole. I think it goes into that screw hole. No, it's not screw hole, but it goes in there. There. Might have oil on it. Why is it? What did I put oil on? Can't remember. I might have loosened a couple of joints because a couple of these, considering this figure is quite old, some of the joints were a little bit tight. So we've got this, and we're going to rotate it on this hinge on this pin to the front. Okay. And now on this slight blue piece here, we're going to twist this all the way over. So from the top of the plane, we're basically just turn the nose over, or if you want to hold the nose cone, we're going to turn the back of the plane over. Fine. Might as well finish this bit while we're here. So we're going to get this, twist at the knee so the fins are at the front. Spin the fins around so they become sort of like big kneecaps. and open up the feet. Okay, so that's basically the lower half of the body done completely. Now we get to the, I don't want to say difficult or bad or anything like that, but the more complicated part. And it is literally just because you've got to sort of fiddle with it. There's never been an easier way to, even the G2 version, like the one this is based off, even that was a bit fiddly. So what you gotta do is sort of get these pieces, and they swing out on those pins there. So this whole piece will fold out, and that whole piece will fold out. But you can't do them at the same time, and they do like smashing into each other. So you got to kind of like force it past. It's not the nicest. So let me see if I can do this without causing too much trouble. Come on. Okay. Rotate that out. Rotate the little tail fin around. And the arm's popped off. It's never done that before. Why has it done that? Put that in. Come on. Don't fight with me. Go back in. Go in. Good. Okay, so that's one arm done. That was a bit worrying. Rotate this arm through. Bring that through. Fold the fin over. Straighten the arm out. And now, this is where it gets kind of nifty. See these screws here? They've got a bar through, which is a hinge. There's also a hinge here and here attached to the piece that rotates. And what we're going to do is get the entire wing section, tap that back in, on the bar where the screws is, get that loose, and then this basically just double hinges and closes onto itself. But at the same time, we want to rotate this around. So it all basically just goes from there and all the way through to there. At which point this sort of grips onto the side. So it's now not rotating back. And there are two holes there and two big tabs here. So that just tabs in like that. Now we have Starscream in robot mode. And pretty screen accurate, let's be honest with you. If you remember him at all from the show. I need to adjust this light properly. Oh, that might be a bit too bright, but whatever, you can see. He's very pretty. He's got a little spark crystal thing, which I never really cared about, to be honest with you. There's a little seat molded in there, I know, bothered mentioning, but so what? But that's a bit worrying. I don't know why that popped off, but doesn't seem to want to do it now, so I suppose everything's fine. But yeah, I mean, the head sculpt is really nice. Come on, camera. Look at that. That's a very nice head sculpt. Battle damage on the shoulder. Again, this is the wing that's damaged. Battle damage down the shoulder. This is a translucent plastic, which is really worrying because translucent plastic's prone to snap and break over the years, so really nervous about that. But the head's beautiful. Everything's fine. On the back here, sort of damage, and there's actually damage on the new backpack piece. So it's all transferred. Like this entire side is damaged, which is cool. Ball joint in the hip, knee, and there's a swivel. Toes open and closed, but that's for the vehicle mode. Hinge, which is kind of hindered by this whole backpack piece. In and out, there is a swivel, and there's a 180 rotate there. And the head will turn side to side. I'm not sure if it'll do a 360, but I don't care. So it's not the most articulated thing in the world, but it does look very pretty, and I think that's the main goal. Now, before we do the power-up mode, we'll have a look at the weapons, because we might as well. I forgot to do a size comparison in jet mode, didn't I? Forget it, don't care. So it comes with a sword that looks like that, with a peg that I'm holding and a peg there, and a gun with a peg that I'm holding, and that's about it. It's got things that will fit on minicom ports, well, just that one by the looks of it. It's got a hole there and a hole there, but they're not minicom ports, so I guess you could plug that in there if you wanted to. I don't know why you would, but you can. That is the thing. So you can put that in his hand. And I might sneeze in a minute, so bear with me. Oh, excuse me. So he's got a sword, he's got a gun, he can pew pew pew, whack, and that's all fine. But they also gave the option off because, Energon got to go a bit above and beyond, I guess. They went, in Japanese series, they always have giant swords. Well, if you got the gun, it's actually got a hole in the back there, and it's got a peg. And now you can hold it by the barrel, and it's an extra big sword, which is actually bigger than he is. And you can put that in his hand and go, haha, giant sword. Most of which is flat, so it's not actually going to cut anything, but this edge bit will. So it's more like a spear or a halberd or something. I don't know. But it's slightly too heavy. Ooh, I don't like that. Slightly too heavy and a bit cumbersome. Why is... Ooh, that does look like it's breaking. Okay, don't like that. Don't like that at all. I'm going to pop this back together. And I might have to put some glue and stuff on that. Just, right, it's together. Okay. No, it's not. It's just this seems to be opening up. Why is this opening up? Don't know. Touch of glue might fix that. I'll do it on there as well, I think. Just try and get those to stay together. So let's rush through this before this figure falls apart on me, because I'm not sure why. And we'll do the power-up mode. And the power-up mode is actually really cool. Really cool. And it is simply get these wing pieces, and they've got a big tab here, big round tab that goes into there. So untab, fold down, and then they rotate over the shoulders. So he's now got shoulder cannons. That's quite cool. And for argument's sake, being as gentle as possible so everything doesn't fall apart on me, just put these in the arms. And I mean, I know they're stupid gimmicks and stuff, but the over-the-shoulder cannons that pop out, because they do blend reasonably well if it wasn't for these sticking out, that's quite cool. Come on, guys. I also like how these are kind of molded as like engines in the back to like fly forward and stuff. It's quite cool. I think the G2 did it better, but that's not the point. Yeah. He's a really cool figure. Genuinely really cool figure. So, size comparisons, while I remember. There's Spinister. And there's Misfire. Both pink. Don't ask me why. So he's roughly the same kind of height as Misfire. If he wasn't leaning back slightly because of the weapons, he's about the same height as Misfire. Maybe a touch smaller, but not much. So yeah, there you go. Transformers Energon Deluxe. Stay there, yeah. Starscream. And he is very pretty. And honestly, before this review, I've never had this with the elbows. So I'm hoping it's just a one-off thing, or maybe the oil. I think I put oil on these swivels, and maybe it's run down into these hinges, and that's what's making them pop out. I don't know, but hopefully it's not going to be a permanent issue. Anyway, I've been rambling on for too long. I'm going to call it there. So, I should be ugly. I should be wretched. I shall see all of you in the next one. See ya!